Okay. Let's back it over and pin you up. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Leonka Reyna. Jenith Blackert is off today because she is out sick, but we have a great show for you today. We're really excited. We're talking with Lori, and repeat your last name for me, Lori.
Spagna.
Spagna. And we are going to be talking all about ascension and really the preparation for this and how imperative this time is. It's going to be a really great show for you today. Jenith is out sick, unfortunately, but we wish her well for today as well. We also have a little bit of news, a little bit of space weather news. And in today's space weather news, remember how I was speaking a lot about how we are entering or exiting in, from this solar maximum and entering into a time of solar minimum. Now, during this time, we also see a lot of conflict throughout history, and that repeats itself every 11 years. So we had things like 9/11, we had world wars happen. We also have had lots of unrest or lots of upheaval from the people that would overthrow governments, or they would just really demand long lasting change. We are seeing that throughout the world right now, and this is also repeating itself in our history. So we won't see as many solar flares as we were seeing throughout 2024, throughout 2025. And that's because we are entering the solar minimum. The solar minimum allows for us to have some of that reprieve, but it also really has us double check and really tune in with ourselves because we had a lot of like DNA upgrades from the solar maximum where we just had tons of blasted light photons in our Earth's atmosphere and, like I said, in our DNA. So when we take all of these charged particles and how we're feeling, that also tends to show up in humanity in the way in which we operate. So for today, on March 19th, we are also doing an equinox aurora watch. It's the first auroras of the northern hemisphere and of spring. So you want to be sure to look on the outside for that because we just had a coronal mass ejection, but they're not as large as the ones that we've been having before. And the impact could spark another G-class solar storm, so another geomagnetic solar storm, and it will hit the different auroras will show up in the mid latitude. So not all the way down south as we were seeing before with those solar maximums, but it definitely is in the mid latitudes. So that means that you're just going to get them further south than you would normally. What all of this means is that there does continue to be charged particles in our Earth's atmosphere. And when you weigh that in with how charged the Earth has already been, we are still having that uneasy, that angst, that change, that call for change. And this change, when you look at how the cosmos all line up, this change really is in store for a long lasting change when you equate those with those 25,000 year cycles. So anyway, that's what I've got for today's Mystic Space Weather News. And we've got a great show for you today with Lori. And let me pull up her form a little bit here since Jenith is the one that's always running the show. And since this is like a live audio audience, I just want to make sure that I have everything good to go for Lori. Take a deep breath, everyone. Welcome. A couple other things that we have for you today is that I wanted to point out that in our newsletter, we now have a new intention circle. It's the Hot House intention circle. A lot of us have been talking about how we wanted to really see the earth as how we want to see it in the future. And so this is really important because this intention circle allows for us to take a deep breath and just hold the intention of what we would love to see happen in the world as opposed to what we're seeing maybe on our news or in the collective. This allows for us as one or more and gathers, as it says in the Bible, that we will be able to hold this intention because our minds are the most powerful and we are the most powerful when we're holding the intention of the world we most want to see. So if you think about the different changes that you would love to see in your life, if you think about the different changes in the way that you would want to grow your children, create community, how you would like to see business transactions be made, how you'd like to see the world really shift from all of this masculine energy to a feminine energy and then a balance. These are the times we can hold that intention, and you'll find that on our newsletters and it clicks to a really lovely link that Jeneth made from where she's doing a whole bunch of different write-up on Substack. So with that, without further ado, let me introduce Lori. Lori, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful to be here. Looking forward to our time together.
I am too. Let me make sure I've got you pinned up
It's
and
so
ready to
funny. I
go.
have this I mean, it seems so obvious in the moment, but this psychic awareness of you as like a weather girl, like on a network. And I mean, I get it. That's what you're doing, so it's not so psychic, but at the same time, it's like you actually could be a weather girl on
Oh, I
a
love that so
network
much.
channel, network news
Hey,
channel.
when I was a little girl, I used to, and maybe this is how I manifested it, right? I used to get the little weather news clipping from the newspaper, and I would actually recite the weather, as
Mm.
if I was giving the
Oh, you
report.
are so
So
born for that. If that is one
I
of your
love
hopes,
that so
wishes, and
much.
dreams, I'm just here to tell you it can be materialized in this life.
I love that so much. Well, I
Mm.
did study, I wanted to study geophysics, and everybody knows on the show because, and geosciences, because I was really following like changes in the earth before, like Earth's climate change, things like that, before everybody else was, and before NASA scientists were able to talk to the media. I was following these patterns for a long, long time, just based on my own, this is crazy, but intuitions.
Mm.
And so when I would find, so I was studying the BBC to try to find out what the reports are. I mean, and I was talking to anybody that would listen to me, like, there's something going on. And I was in my
Sure.
20s. My friends were getting ready to go to the club, and I was over here talking about, changes in our climate. And so I think that's really funny that you pulled that through for me. So,
I mean, seriously, like I have my team in my ear saying, tell her that
oh,
if
thanks.
is it all right if I offer you this?
Absolutely. Yes.
There's a greater vision for you. And it's not that
Oh,
what you're doing right now is wrong or
right.
misaligned. It's right for right now.
Yeah.
And it's perfect in perfect divine alignment, of course. But tell her that her highest fulfillment, which is part of what my team is always helping people I help people achieve their highest fulfillment. Part of your highest fulfillment is to be in a more expanded capacity, reaching a larger audience, meaning on a global type of network that's what we would this is a global network. You're already doing it. You're already living it, but that you
Yeah.
could reach out to more mainstream ideologies in short timing, meaning within the next 3 to 5 years, that you could get on like a
Oh.
network news
Yeah.
like the Science Channel, that they
Oh,
would be
that's
more
fun.
open,
Yes.
or the Weather Channel, and that you could
That.
potentially have your own type of show or be
Oh,
on a show similar where you're reporting weather, but from a consciousness perspective.
I
And
love
while you would
this.
have to be a little toned down, they're also going to elevate. You see, as a collective, humanity's elevating. So within a few years, they'll be more ready. Anyway, I could go deeper. I could spend a
Oh
whole,
my gosh, I totally
but
could see what you're saying. I was thinking, I was like, well, maybe it's from a conscious effort. And of course, we're always thinking big vision for this particular show
mm,
and what the platform will become.
mhm.
So I can definitely see, me going off and doing some extra, press or, a different portion of my whatnot
And
in
just one
bringing
other
some of
thing,
these
just to be clear, because
conscious.
it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
important to
yeah.
say for this show, it's not either or, it's both and. It's the
That's what I was
chicken now.
thinking. That's
Yeah.
what I was hearing too. So
Right.
that's
Good.
awesome. And I was
Yeah,
like, well, maybe humanity would be ready for a more cosmic report, right? A more report
for
that
sure.
mystic space weather news.
For sure, that's coming. That's
Oh, that's
happening.
exciting. That's
The new
super
architecture
exciting.
is already being built. I could go into a full channel right now, but the new
Woo!
architecture is already anchoring, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know that what happened is that you sparked up the chat. And so I know that they would love to hear a little bit the channeling that you've got for us in store. I always am ready to hear a channeling that's, for our show and for how we can grow this platform as well. But I do want to hear a little bit about, you and your work because I know that you and Jeneth have pioneered this work for a very long time. And I remember hearing your name when I used to work in Janet's business over 12 years ago.
Mm.
So, tell me about how you got into this work and what you've really experienced or learned throughout this time. And I have some questions that you provided for us as well. that I'd love to dive into about your work as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, my story, it does go back a while now. And I've known Jeneth for a long time. When I started, it was really, well, when I first got out of college, I was in corporate America, and I call myself, I was a good slave, and I was riding the hamster wheel. And during those, I don't know, I was in corporate America for quite a while, and I developed all kinds of unhealthy coping mechanisms, excessive smoking, excessive spending, excessive drinking. I mean, really extremes, massive amounts of pharmaceutical drugs from well-meaning doctors, hair falling out, thyroid off, overweight, so much drinking, alcohol, and then coffee all night and cigarettes all day and night. And
Yeah.
I was miserable and, crying myself to sleep every night and begging for how am I going to get out of this? And eventually just reached a point I would have rather died. And that what had ended up happening was my brother died of a drug
Mm.
overdose. I started getting messages from him. And it took me about a year to work with that, to realize like I wasn't making it up.
Okay.
And very quickly, like I had a lot of so-called dead relatives coming to me. And so without even realizing it, I guess I started as a medium, but the very quick message was like, you need to stop what you're doing and pursue what you love. So I loved animals. And so I became a dog trainer, and I got messages from the dogs right away. And they would say things like, you listen to us and we'll teach you.
Oh
And
my
they just
gosh.
started teaching me about pack mentality and like how groups and organizations succeed and how they're here to help the humans and how they are what they're doing. Anyway, very quickly that evolved, continued to evolve. I became a healer. Within 2 years, all of that stuff I referenced was gone. The six-figure
Yeah.
credit card debt was gone. The excess weight, drinking forever. I don't drink ever anymore just because I don't want
Yes.
to. I have no desire.
Yeah.
Smoking was
Yeah.
gone forever. All the pharmaceutical drugs. I haven't taken a single pharmaceutical drug or over-the-counter drug in, I don't, 25 years now. Yeah, so I mean, I don't really need doctors. And yeah, I started my business, and obviously that's really what I do now, but it's evolved because I use all those tools, all the psychic gifts, all of the animal communication, all the energy healing, all of the telepathy, all of the like now it's really about helping people come. I help people live their best lives, but it's like that's so trite to say that. It's about really helping people realize their greatest potential and embody the wholeness, the fullness, the completeness of who we really are, and recognizing our magnificence and what our unique soul, like what your unique soul is here. I can see that little girl in your story. Now you told me, but psychically, you just brought her to light, to awareness,
Oh,
all her hopes,
yes.
wishes, dreams that she had for you, and you, the future version of her, that's still carrying that, and future version of you who's meant to bring that in, but more of your totality is embodying so that you can show up in the best ways you're meant to and deliver
Yeah.
in such a way that it can be received in the best
Yeah.
ways possible, right? So this is what I do. And then the group that I channel, because we will channel today,
Yes.
is called, they call themselves the collective. And the reason, I mean, it used to be years ago when I started channeling them, they would call themselves just benevolent beings of love and light. And I'd be like, oh, so you mean like blobs? I could call you just blobs, benevolent beings of love and light. And then eventually it was like, well, just call us the collective because we're all kinds of collectives. Because
I got
really,
that.
right, the way that I channel, it's very different from how traditional channeling works. And I'll explain that. But the collective is just made up of my unique team and then whomever I'm channeling with or for. So your team will come in if they're needed and or required. They'll merge and
Yeah.
unify. And then the collective of the collective here will come in. That's not my unique team. They just show up for the channeling if something's needed. And
Sure.
there's always one caveat. They do have to serve the light. I only work with beings who serve the light. I'll explain that
Yes.
too. But yeah,
Yes.
sometimes it's animals, loved ones who have crossed over come in, your higher self, your oversoul, your eternal ever being. These are aspects of you, your soul, which is another, these are all individuation aspects of us who are the multidimensional aspects of ourselves that when we start to unify, we're whole and complete, right? But I've
Yeah.
channeled weather patterns because there's
Yeah.
consciousness in everything. You would be fascinated with
Yes.
that, right?
Yes, I
And
would. Yes, I
you
would.
can, yeah, I channeled planetary bodies. So, yeah. And let me just say, what I mean by serving the light is in my language, what that means is God's plan for lighted creation. But even if you don't resonate
Oh,
with the word God, what it really means is the plan for humanity that is truly loving and benevolent
yeah.
and truly has our best interest, that is for our individual and collective expansion and evolution and our upliftment, our positive upliftment, and always
Yeah.
ideally with harm to none, even though we
Right.
humans may contribute in some way to our own demise. God's source creator's plan is always ideally with harm to none. So, yeah,
When you
that's what I
talk
mean when
about,
I only channel beings that serve the light. I've had beings come to me and I've been
yes.
like, no, not allowed, no entry. And
And
also
is
just,
that because you don't, because you have this certain discernment of highest good? Oh, so I always walk around and I'm always like, so if I start a channeling session, I'm always like, highest good, highest good. That's kind of the way in which I invoke, my discernment. But because I don't want anything else in this, any gray area to ever come, that's just not where I play as well. And I
yeah,
also understand when you say the collective, many times when I channel, I know exactly who I'm working with, but that it is not a defined sometimes grouping like you had explained. It could be a collective of the group of the collective of for me it's a lot of the Galactic Federation, but it also can be the guides of someone, the guides of myself. And
yes.
so I struggle too to put, maybe you don't struggle, but I do. I have in the past for putting like a bucket name on the grouping, if you will. And I think that's really smart of you to use the word collective or use the word that they gave you, because I don't necessarily know that do they want to be named, or is there kind of
Mm.
like a caveat there?
Yeah, some beings, that's a really good question. Some beings don't need to be named because they're just part of a collective or a
Sure.
sub-collective. Some beings represent, so for example, when I'm channeling the goddesses, divine goddesses, there's so many of them that come through because they're basically unified in their consciousness. So it's not like they're operating from this, yeah, what we would identify as an egoic identity, where
Sure.
it's like, oh, I have to be recognized. It's more like the message is what
Right.
matters, the energy,
Right.
the frequency, the consciousness. So I could have like, Lady Nada, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, like Sarasvati, Parvati, and there may be because there most of them are through the lineage of Sananda and the host. That's the same lineage that Jesus came through. So they're not like saying, "Oh, pay attention to me directly." They're like, "Here's the message and the energy we're bringing through." But I do want to say, I don't just say for the highest good because that means I oftentimes I'm very particular who is allowed to come through. One of the practices I teach in my mentorship programs is, who stands with you. So it's very important because a being who does not necessarily serve the light can stand with a person and they could come through
Mm.
from their perspective. They
Okay.
could say, I'm here for the highest good to illuminate their shadow or to bring about their sabotaging patterns. And that's not necessarily the most benevolent best, or not necessarily of the light, or how the light would help them to become consciously aware of something.
I
So,
gotcha. I do
yeah, I'm
gotcha.
very particular. And
Uh-huh.
I have over the years really learned, like one of my earliest teachers on this was this being who was named Bartholomew. And what I would learn from him was like, I would see sometimes with eyes closed, this yellow fluttering light, sometimes actually eyes open, this yellow fluttering light that sort of looked like, butterfly or angelic types of wings. But I would feel immediately this wave of this particular frequency and energy that felt so blissful and beautiful to me. And then I would just hear the words, I am Bartholomew. And I,
Wow.
in the earliest days, I'd be like, oh my God, this is like so cool. But after a while, I started to get annoyed because I'd be like, okay, well, what else? Like, okay, great. Like, what else? Like, like, what good is that? And
I
it's
hear
not
you.
because you would, sometimes I'd later get from my team, like, oh, you're such a divine brat. Anyone would love for that to happen. And I'd be like, well,
I feel like
but
we've got something here. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
what helps me to start to differentiate. That was his whole role. You can
Interesting.
hear, you can see, you can sense
Yes.
exactly who I am. And so
How?
over time, I got just really good at divine discernment of knowing exactly who and
Yes.
what. And through this practice of knowing who stands with people, because you have to know if people understood this, and then I'll pause and take a breath here, but
No, let's go. Let's go. I think
if
this is
people
great.
only understood this one basic thing, I teach it in
Okay.
all my programs to
Yes.
ask tonight when if you ever do watch the mainstream news, which I highly advise against, but just even the awareness of any presidential leader, world leader, religious leader, anyone who is a leader of sorts, who's a public figure, close
Okay.
your eyes and take a breath, drop into your heart. And it's a little more complicated than this, but this is a simple basic. Who stands with you? And ask of that person and let yourself see, perceive, and know. Because we would never elect the world leaders we have if we had that
Mm.
ability. We could see the shadows behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
all new leadership to rise up, and that is just beginning. That is
I
just
think a
beginning.
lot of
That's
people are feeling
right.
that for sure.
Yes,
I'm
for
seeing
sure.
it everywhere. Would you say that, oh, this is another quick question. My question when you were talking was, how long did it take for you to, because again, I consider you one of the pioneers. You've been doing this work for a very long time. I understand that, just hearing you right now, I was like, wow, that's definitely comes through wisdom and time. And I know that this process is a little bit quickening up for a lot of people that are like newer channels like myself. I've probably only been doing this for about the last 5 years,
Hmm.
since about 2020. But how long did it take for you to start from the Bartholomew to like understanding the differences, and then to be to, I guess, in those periods of time, right?
Yeah.
And then to where you are today. Like,
Yeah. Well, let me say two things about that. First, to answer your question directly, and the earliest stages, right after I started getting the animals communicating to me, I ended up moving
uh-huh.
to Maui. I lived in Maui for 2 years. That's where I was developing my gifts as a healer, as an
That's a
animal
great place to
communicator.
develop.
Yes, but
It was just
I was
there.
really hard because like I was going through my own kind of, death period. Pluto was moving through my first house. You're
I
familiar.
gotcha.
Right. So anyway, during that time, I had a lot of beings. I had a lot of dead famous people. I call them
Oh,
dead.
interesting.
Like they'd come to me and say things, and I had a lot of beings that would come to me and be like, "Let us come through you and let us speak through
Uh-huh.
you." And I'd be like, "No, you're not
Yeah.
hijacking my body. I don't even know who you are."
Yeah.
So that's traditional channeling. Somebody comes through your body. I
Yes,
don't do
I've
that.
had that happen
What ended
too.
up happening for me was over time, because I was teaching animal communication, telepathy, and psychic ability, I was teaching people how to access different brainwave frequencies. And I started realizing when I got myself into a very deep gamma, that's where I could just be at one with these collectives. I'm in those collectives, not my human egoic identity, but yes, my personality self, my human self. So I would just merge and unify. And I was in those collectives with them, one of them, at one with them. So when you say how long did it take, that process is still advancing and progressing. And so it's been 20, 25 years since the first time I remember saying, like, no, you're not coming in my body. But I understand now I was always meant to be a channel. I was always meant to be a vehicle. So if I had gone that route, it still would have happened. It still would have evolved. It's an evolutionary process. And I think the
Yes.
second part of how I want to answer your question is
Okay.
I think what's most important for people who want to be channels or even psychics
Sure.
or animal communicators, two
And
things
that's why I
that are
asked. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
two things I would counsel. Number one, it's a continuous process of healing and resolving those parts of ourselves that identify, you could call them ego or egoic. I call it egoic structure because none
Yeah.
of it's the truth of who we are. It's the stuff that keeps us in some form of block or separation, that we perceive ourselves to be somehow separate from these beings. Because I know the collective, I'm in there. I am one of
Yes.
them.
I gotcha.
And so all of that is a healing journey that we do for ourselves, on ourselves, all of those aspects of who we are, whether they're mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, physical, whatever they are, that anchor us in separation. Then the second part is the desire to want to share truth, not be right. And people get really messed up on this because they want to be right.
Yes.
And
The one of the cute little things we always talk about, Jennifer and I will ask like at the like it, we'll ask lots of questioning around somebody struggling something, and sometimes we'll just stop and be like, what is, what do you want more of? Would you rather be happy or would you rather be right?
yes,
And I think sometimes
yeah,
that takes people pause and they're like, the last time I said that, my
yes,
friend was like, with a group, she was like, okay, Dr. Phil. And I go, no, I'm serious. Like, and when you're, especially, and this goes out for everybody, I think your question's a little bit better, but the way in which you pose it, but sometimes we just have to stop and ask ourselves if we're headed down this polarity. And sometimes when you get so far down polarity, especially in politics, that you can't, there's a middle, there's a really healthy middle. But we've been arguing so far
mhm,
of our defending and fighting for our position
yes,
that we can't see the middle anymore. And so
yes,
before we really start to do that, we have to ask ourselves, do I want to be happy? And do I want the happiness, for
yes,
all, right? Like, well, do I want to be happy or do I have to be right?
yes.
And because
It's
right
very
couldn't
important
be
to
here.
understand that I call that the divide and conquer gene. So
Uh-huh.
it's in the DNA, it's embedded into the DNA. It's an
Oh, yes.
implant that does not serve us. It's been implanted by, if you really want to go
Ooh.
out there, what we could call
Yeah.
negative alien races,
Yeah.
where they did what you call DNA, I call it DNA fuckery, right? I hope that's okay that I say that word.
It's
Bleep
totally
me
fine.
out.
Yes.
But
For the
so
podcast. Yeah.
so that's part of the DNA work I've done, DNA
Yeah.
healing, DNA activations. We clear out the corrupted DNA. That would have been a better word to use because that's corrupted. That's not true and organic to who we are. But that
Yeah.
stuff gets reinforced everyone anytime anyone's watching the control narrative. Like mainstream news is a controlled narrative to control how and what people think, and they create divide and conquer mentality, and they create the energetic frequencies of argue, debate. I'm right, you're wrong. You're wrong, I'm right.
Yes.
And people
Yes.
get
Yes.
wired into that. And then
Yes.
energetically, they become the frequency match for that kind of experience. And then they bring it into their world and they have challenges in relationships. And then it's, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? But even the question, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? That's changing it on the mental plane. Important,
Right.
but not
Right.
enough. We want to
Right.
change it energetically through the entirement of the body and being. That's why we
Oh,
clear that out of the DNA.
I
We
love that.
clear that programming from the DNA and we clear it on all levels and layers of the multidimensional field so that that no longer is even an issue. And so the person is free and liberated from it. And now when they see argument and debate, they're like, wow, I'm so glad that's not me, but I can bless it, recognizing I'm liberated from it. Now I can be more of the solution. I don't have to get in there with the argument and debate. I can share the happiness and joy instead, or a higher perspective, or something else that's even better,
I
right?
know. And that sounds so exciting to me. But when I look at gosh, and I want to get to your questions, but you just keep me
Yeah.
when I look at the world and the climate of even war, I then wonder, is that implant one of the main causes of or keeps it in place of this polarity, like of this where this innateness to want to fight and conflict for humanity?
Yeah, well, I have a collective of masters, divine masculine, collective of divine feminine, goddesses, the goddess collective. These are all masters, right? Goddesses are
Sure.
masters, ascended masters. Would you like me to bring that through? What
Sure.
the channeling? Okay, to answer your question, just takes a moment for me to just attune to them. Blessings, beautiful beloveds. And we are here from you, for you, with you. And we hear from you. We hear this inquiry. We are aware of this inquiry. And we are aware that you are all, as you are all awakening, wondering how could such things exist on our planet, this war, this fighting? And what is this representational of? And is this also what is embedded into human consciousness? And what we would like to offer to you here now and to contribute to this conversation is that this is a reflection of what once was and not what any longer is. When systems begin to implode, when systems implode, their last stronghold is to fight for domination and control. When a system has been embedded with frequencies of control, domination, manipulation, secrecy, coercion, control. When systems have been embedded with these frequencies, they know only these frequencies. And so when they no longer have control, they implode on each other or on the oneness of what they are. Their implosion then, similar to your concept of the Big Bang, creates something new and better. And so these systems are beginning to implode. They are falling apart, for they no longer represent the collective. Your greatest strength as a human species is to do exactly what your group here now is doing, which is to recognize your free will choice to choose something new and better. Your free will choice will always reign supreme. As you continue to choose consciously, and even as often as possible unconsciously, meaning not that you are unconscious of it, but rather that you recognize the unconscious aspects of you that have in the past participated in some way of dissension, of polarity, of disagreement, disharmony, that you choose to reach for something greater within yourselves that will allow for more harmony, even if disagreement is still there. So you may disagree with another, but you may recognize that another has their right to perceive whatever they choose to perceive. And this creates a kind of harmony. And in so doing, you are choosing with your free will something new and greater. You are choosing all now. Now let us also refer to your other greatest strength at this time, which is the choice of non-consent. So while on one level we are inviting you to choose with free will, your free will, knowing that your free will reigns supreme, to choose something new and better, meaning some form of harmony, agreement, peace, benevolence, something better. At the same time, we are also suggesting non-consent. Now, let us elaborate on what we mean by this. Non-consent means that you invoke within your own self a form of sacred neutral, which, if you are willing, we will begin to, from this now moment, allow those frequencies to permeate through everyone who consents to this, to allow more sacred neutrality to move and permeate through your entirety. Sacred neutral allows you to be disentangled from polarity,
Mm.
from extremism. And as you choose non-consent, you will recognize more of your own divine sacred neutral can neutralize, will be able to neutralize that which has seemed to be polarized around you. And by choosing neutrality, you are saying, I no longer consent to these extremes of the dualistic nature that causes war among humans, war among beings who live on the planet, war between any living being, including your earth, Terra, Gaia, Sophia, including your waters, your land, your rocks, your minerals, your crystals, your plants, and all kingdoms and all realms. So, by choosing to allow more neutrality, divine neutrality, which is certainly not the same thing as not caring or not having compassion, it is simply the choice to disengage or disentangle from that which is extremely polarized and causing great upset and harm, and choosing as one comes into the neutrality, the divine neutrality, to care in a whole new and better way by bringing in and anchoring in more harmony, and then choosing non-consent for those things that do cause harm. So this is what
Mm.
we are counseling you all now with regard to your great and magnificent question. We thank you, beloved. And for now, we withdraw from, partially withdraw while will be and will continue to be present and available as is
Thank
needed
you.
or requested.
Thank you. Thank you. You offered to do a activation for us today.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm getting a lot on the chat. They were like, "Are we going to do the activation?" And yes, we'd love to. So definitely wanted to get into that as well. And you mentioned, but if you want to talk a little bit about, set it up and what it is and how that affect.
Yeah. Okay, well, I do want to say, so that neutrality, it's feeling very good to me. Some people might not feel it because that's already like a transmission, right? Not the same thing as an
Yes.
activation. Um,
Yes.
but that is flowing and continually flowing, they're telling me, because if you're in your brain, you won't feel it as much. And they're just saying, if you would like to receive it more, it will continue during the duration of our call together. And even in
Okay.
replay, it will be just as active because
Yes.
it can never be limited to time or space. So for anyone who wants to receive, because I'm already feeling it so much, I'm sorry, when my eyes close, I'm so in the zone. But take some breaths and really just drop into your heart, which you can do while you're listening. We're so trained to listen through the brain, but really the next level of awareness and consciousness comes through the presence through the heart center and recognizing that frequency still hears, knows, sees, perceives, recognizes, discerns even better than the brain does and works with the brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's already going on. So if for people who are wondering, as an activation, if we want to do an activation, I'm asking what would be best. And of course, we could do DNA.
I
Your
think
group
that
has
would be
had that many
lovely.
times before. You've had that before on this summit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm just asking and listening what would be best for this group at this time. And of course, we can clear more of what we referenced earlier, the corrupted DNA
Yes, I think that was what I
associated
was.
with,
Yes, that. Yes.
okay, sorry, because I am definitely a little out of my left brain now. So I'm more letting my team step in more. But yeah, so we'll clear that and we're going to replace it. So that was the corrupted DNA associated with divide and conquer. And then I'm just asking, what will we, because whenever we clear something out, almost always we want to replace or activate something
Okay.
else.
Okay.
Okay, so in order to receive this, obviously free will always reigns supreme. So the person or any people who want to receive it, you have to be willing. So just decide now that you're willing if you choose it. Of course, this will only be as is for your most benevolent best with zero harm to you or anyone else. Important to state up front. If you're choosing it now, take some long, slow, deep, relaxing breaths. They haven't quite told me what will be activated in its place, but they're telling me have no worries, we'll speak it. As it is done, it will be spoken, but you'll hear it before you consent. But if you hear anything that you don't agree to, you just simply say no, thank you to that. But they're saying, why would you? Because this is truly for
Yeah.
your best.
And
So take some
I'm
deep,
hearing. I'm sorry, I'm hearing
Go ahead.
to remind you that you kind of brought up a charge in the group by, saying the word alien, and you used the word fuckery, but that implant, that right there, it's making my calf really flex. That was really what you had toned into when you brought up the
Oh,
idea
we've
of
got
the
it. Okay, good. Thank you for saying
yes,
that. That
no
really
worries.
helped. They got triggered by because it was an alien implant. Is that
Yes.
right? Okay, but
Yeah,
you
it
just
wasn't the
let me
word,
just
it was the
clarify on
alien.
that
Yes,
right
yes.
before we do this activation. We've all got them. There's no one who doesn't. We're all multidimensional beings. We've had many planetary incarnations on many different planetary bodies. We're all intergalactic, and most of us, Earth is not our first incarnation.
Yes.
Right? We've lived on other planets. So you've got lots of benevolent, what's your home star family is the original planetary body you originally incarnated. That's what we're going to reawaken if you're willing. When we clear out the corrupted one associated with
Okay.
divide and conquer, we're going to awaken and activate something what's meant for you from your original home star family. So let me just
Oh, I love
define
that.
that. It's coming through me, even though it's not a direct channel, it's a relay. Your original home star family is just wherever you incarnated first. Your brain may or may not know what that is at this moment or where that was. It doesn't matter because it's in your DNA when it gets activated in right divine timing, you'll start to know. Might not be this instant or this minute, probably won't be because it integrates and that can
I
take
gotcha.
time. As you
Yes.
mentioned earlier, sometimes it takes time for it to
Yes.
awaken and activate, but you'll be able to start to collect the gifts that you, whoever you are meant to bring through into this world from wherever that originating home star planet is. If it was Earth, which again, most people on Earth came to Earth from other planetary incarnations. Most of us are not first timers here. But
And
wherever
probably not
your
on this
original
call.
gifts are, what's that?
And definitely probably not on this call.
Right.
Anyone
So
joining us,
wherever
we're
your
going,
original plan, don't even try to figure it out. We want to get you out of the brain when we get into the
yes.
practice.
Yes.
But you're going to be able to, what we'll activate is the codes. I'm being told as I translate here, the codes and templates that are right and appropriate for you, whomever you are as a unique individual, from your original home star planet that you are ready to receive, accept, and allow. So it's corresponding to your readiness, which is going to correspond to your intention. I'll walk you through it. Stay with me. So that when those codes and templates become activated and then in divine timing integrated, you'll be able to bring more through of what you're uniquely here to bring through. Sorry, when I'm looking out, it's because I'm receiving and translating.
Hmm.
So, does that make sense?
I'm
Does that
getting
sound good
yes,
to you?
yes,
How
yes,
does
and
the
a lot
group
of
like? I
yes,
wish I
I'm
could see.
ready,
Okay, good.
exciting. Yes.
Okay, I'm just asking because I know I missed something that I was supposed to say. You're okay with regard to your intention. So, as you're placing your intent, there's already a lot of clearing going on. It's already starting.
Mm.
Um, as you're setting your intention, as we're going to lead you into this, it's not 20 minutes. How much time do we have for it?
Oh, we can go over. But
Oh,
we have yeah, we can go over. We till
5 or 10
about 15
minutes?
after.
Fifth?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Oh, that gives me a little more time then. It doesn't have to be like 2 minutes.
Oh no, no, no. We can go
Okay,
till
so when you're
15
setting
after
your
for the whole
intention, then
call.
what you want to receive is your most benevolent best, you, whomever you are as a unique individual, and in a sense, the maximum benefits that are good, right, and appropriate for you. Right. But what's right and appropriate for you, your body, your being, your life, your living as a unique individual. Let's just put that in your intention now. All right, good. So start to take some deep, long, slow, relaxing breaths. If you can, if you're willing, let your eyes close. That really does make a difference. That's why when I'm sort of channeling or relaying information, I'm looking away because if I'm using my direct eyesight, it's just interference for me.
Mm.
And that's why we close our eyes. So I understand if someone's driving, you can still receive the benefits if you're listening, but if you're multitasking, it's not going to be as effective. It's usually the more you participate, the more you disciple yourself, the better your benefits. Good. So as you're closing your eyes, taking some long, slow, deep, relaxing breaths, I want you to breathe your breath all the way down to the belly so that the belly begins to expand.
Ooh.
And you're not just taking the breath, you're actually receiving the breath. And if you would please be aware of the base chakra. Now, the base chakra is not the root chakra at your butt, at your buttocks, at the base of your spine. That's your root. Your base chakra is below your feet. So just be aware and just relax and have the willingness. Willingness. The brain does not do this work. The brain doesn't know how to do it. It hasn't been taught, it hasn't been trained. It's the consciousness that does it. Allow it to activate. So you're allowing this base chakra to activate. Your brain will say, I don't know how. The brain will say, am I doing it right? No, it's not the brain that does it. A higher aspect of you knows how. An aspect of you that has already done it for you begins to take the higher consciousness, or is the higher consciousness that is you, does it for you. And just relax the lower extremities. You guys are doing great. So you relax the lower extremities and you're still breathing, allowing yourself to receive the breath. And let's just now encapsulate in God's perfect, pure, divine white gold. Please do not visualize this. Don't need to visual. Visualizing is the brain interfering. There are times to visualize. This is not one of them. And we're just allowing this encapsulation. And right here, right now, we are affirming that it is only allowed that which serves and supports in accordance with God's will and God's plan for lighted creation. And only that which is for the most benevolent best of all with zero harm to anyone. And as you're breathing, you're dropping down deep now into the center core of being. Your brain will say, where is that? Or wonder, am I doing it right? And if that happens, just say thank you and take a breath and then just choose and be willing to drop even deeper into the center core of being, knowing that on a sense, your brain doesn't know how or where. Now you can just take a moment as you're doing that and be aware of anywhere in the body that needs to relax or surrender, anywhere that wants to let go, anywhere that's been holding tension or struggle. Lots of times that's in the upper shoulders, the neck, or the back. And with your next breath, let's just breathe in the energy, everything's energy, of divine peace and divine harmony and divine grace. Now, your brain will say, how do I know if I'm breathing that in? And where is that energy? And again, we say the brain is not the one that is receiving the energy. The brain will benefit from this energy. So receive it as if you are breathing all the way down into the belly and expanding the solar plexus region, which is referred to oftentimes as the third chakra. And then take this breath, divine neutral, divine peace, divine harmony, divine grace, and travel it all the way down the spinal cord, if you would. Your brain does not need to navigate it. Your brain is the participant. The breath, the consciousness navigates and allows. Further relaxing the body anywhere it wants to relax by just letting go and dropping even deeper, deeper into the center core of being. Now make a choice with your willingness, if you would. Just be willing to allow yourself to unify with the wholeness of you, the oneness of you. Your brain again does not know what or where or how, but the greater version of you knows. So you, the human, must simply choose, will, and allow. That's it. And it gets done. Anything that is not of the light will begin to immediately transmute. Immediately. So if there's any difficulties or challenges that you notice or discomforts, simply release them. No need to attach to any of it, and allow them to be transmuted in the presence of divine source energy, of divine source consciousness. This is what happens. It is the most beautiful, easy, effortless, and graceful way to release the densities that have once caused you disharmony, displeasure, dis-ease, discomfort, etc. Just allow. No particular attachment now. A choice and a willingness to drop deep, deep, deep down into the center core of being simply by letting it be and choosing to be at one with the totality of the oneness that is you. Some of you may refer to it as the I am, or the God source, or the spark within, or the flame, the eternal nature of who you are. Simply allow. Now, with your consent, we the collective, will identify, and we are including the totality of each individual participating. We will identify that which was referred to earlier as the corrupted program in the DNA, the corrupted implant of divide and conquer. And it will be easily, gracefully, benevolently lifted, removed, and dissolved with your consent and sent to the light to be forever transmuted into love, into light, returned home to the source, that it can never cause harm to you or anyone else again. If you so choose it now, simply take a breath and drop even deeper and allow it to be done. It will be but a matter of moments of silence. And this is a recognition where your free will reigns supreme, so of course you must consent. And if you so choose, once again we affirm it shall be gracefully and easily identified, lifted, removed, and dissolved, and sent to the light, forever transmuted, sent home to source consciousness. Mostly, what you will notice is a sense of divine peace, for every breath you are breathing is the energy of divine peace, divine grace, divine harmony, which permeates your entirety with each and every inhalation and each and every exhalation, and begins to anchor in and through you as you allow it. It is the substance of who you truly are. And now, with your consent, as we have stated, we will also replace the gifts that we referred to earlier. Whatever gifts you as a unique individual are storing within your own dormant potential, in this case specifically your own DNA, but truly in more than just your DNA. It is within the totality of the wholeness of your multidimensional being. The gifts that you brought here that are contained within you, that are part of the essence of who you are, that you are meant to bring through into this world. We will begin to activate and awaken those gifts, especially and in particular, the gifts that you may have brought through from other incarnations and or other lifetimes on other planetary bodies. Now, hear us now, please. These gifts will activate in this moment and will permeate in this moment in an awakening state through your entirety when you give consent, as you give consent, which most of you already have.
Mhm.
Only but a few holdouts wondering what it will be. And as you are
Mhm.
hearing and as you give consent, it will be immediate. However, it is important to recognize that these gifts will integrate with your systems and consciousness only as is uniquely appropriate for each individual in accordance with your most benevolent best and the timing that is right and appropriate for your body, mind, soul, your energetic system to handle. Too much too soon can often create a slight disharmony within the person. Too little, too slow, too fast, too little, too slow creates stagnation. So it will be in right divine timing for you. Have no attachment or expectation in the moment. Simply be willing and open to receive. As you choose and allow, it shall be done. Now take breaths. Release and let go of your lower extremity attachment, meaning relax the body. Allow this to be done if you're choosing it and willing. It is already happening. Moments of silence here, please, now. Very beautiful. So many beautiful beings. Now, before we depart or complete this part, what we would like to offer is gifts of consciousness you are meant to receive now.
Mm.
From our collective perspective, gifts of consciousness are better than any gift. And we say better in the realm of better or worse. But in truth, what we are saying is that the gifts of consciousness are the gifts of God, Source, Creator, the divine, the infinite, the all that is, the omnipresent Source. And these gifts, truly from our perspective, cannot be surpassed. They are the greatest gifts that are available for human consciousness, for the human collective, for the earth, for the plants, for the minerals, for the animals. And at this time, as more and more humans are claiming your gifts, you see, more and more of you are recognizing the inherent value that you are and that you have to contribute in this world. And as you are elevating, you are allowing these gifts to reveal themselves to you and through you into the world. And so we would like to offer you this, for this, from our perspective, is the best we have to offer at this time, the best that is available to you. If you so choose now, simply be willing and let us further define. When we state the gifts of consciousness, the gifts of God, Source, Creator, the infinite, the all that is, the divine, however you uniquely identify that source, they are from the perspective of absolute truth,
Oh.
absolute love, the absolute that does not require belief to believe it. For you are absolute consciousness itself, and you are absolute love itself. And you are absolute peace itself, and it is permeating in and through all of you always, and infinitely available to you always. And it is here now for you, here now, embodying in you, through you, as you accept, receive, and allow. And these are the
Yeah.
greatest gifts. And even more, even better, simply allow. It is done. It is done. It is done. Master Katumi here now, one of my primaries. And he's saying, blessings to all. Beloveds, it is a sight to see you all awakening. It is the most beautiful thing for us to behold as humans awaken and come into their full realization of who they are. We are so honored and grateful to share with you today, to witness you today, to participate in this transformation. It has been our great pleasure and our great honor. And with this, we
Thank you.
release you, but let it be known that the transformation that has taken place here today has only just begun.
Oh, I have tears of
Right.
joy.
Yes. Good stuff.
Like it's like I'm just so grateful.
Yes.
And then I've always known that they're available, like that was available. Like it's just
Yes.
like so sweet.
Yes. It is. Oh, I'm so happy. You're such a good receiver. That's
I
so
was like, I'm
awesome.
getting emotional. Sometimes I get a little embarrassed because I get emotional. I haven't done
No,
that in
there's
so
nothing.
long.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it
Yes,
working.
and then I
It's
was
so
just so
beautiful.
grateful.
It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy to see people
Lots of
receiving it.
thank you. And
Yeah,
lots
you
of
have
people
to do
say
a lot. You
thank
have
you,
to have
thank
done
you.
a lot of work to really recognize it. It's a testament to you too, really.
Oh,
Because
thank you,
sometimes
thank
people
you.
don't, if they don't recognize it, and then there's no wrongness there. It's just
Sure.
means there's more to do. There's more. There's always more.
Right,
Isn't it,
right.
right?
A lot more integration. Oh, lots of
Yeah.
lots of thank
Oh,
yous,
good. I'm
hearts.
so glad.
Animal rescuers say thank you. Cedar
Oh,
says
we could do
thank
something
you.
really good for the animals.
Oh, that'd be fun. We've got a lot of animal lovers here too.
Can we
Uh,
take like two, 5 more, not
yes,
even three more
let's
minutes, 5 more
go. We've
minutes?
got time, Lori. Yes, let's
Okay, good.
go.
Let's take a breath. Oh my God, because my heart is always with the animals. So there'll be a little bit of question. So once again, just take some breaths, same kind of thing. Just relax lower extremities and then just choose with willingness to drop into the depth of the core of your being. And we're calling forward the animal collective, the animal kingdom. You're correcting me. The animal kingdom, the collective of the animal kingdom at large, which does include human animals, but we're referring specifically to the non-humans who are identified as animals in physical form on Earth.
Yeah.
And I'm just asking right now, what can we do to support and assist right here, right now with this group? And one of the things that's lighting up in a big way is to bring forward the energy of divine healing and divine light for all animals. They're going to mention, and we're going to bring through these energies. So we're going to do a little practice here. Oh, this is really, your group is really
Yeah.
blessed here. If you would be willing, I'm relaying, but it potentially might turn into a full channel. But put your palms up in your lap
I was just
if you're
talking
willing to
about the animals
participate.
last night. Yes.
And we're going to call forward the energies of divine healing and divine light. We're not just doing it just yet, but this is what we're being told we're going to do for all the animals all over the globe who are, especially and in particular, affected in war-torn areas, areas where there is war or fighting, areas where they have been neglected, also including animals in the wild. So both domesticated animals and animals in the wild who have been
Yes.
affected by guns and or some form of hunting and or fighting and or butchering. Please do not go into your emotional body here. Don't go into your pain. Then you become part of the problem.
Yes.
Stay deep in the center depth of your being. So relax lower extremities. Start breathing in. Brain does not know what or how. The energy of divine healing and divine light. And as you breathe in this energy, you're going to take in as much as you can, almost without exhaling. Yes, you can exhale when you need to, but for the most part, you're filling up and you're allowing this energy to overflow into The palms of your hands, starting off like you're carrying a ball of energy, and that it builds as you inhale more and more. Divine healing and divine light. And you're allowing yourself to just keep inhaling. And even though there will be some exhaling, you're mostly taking in this energy, breathing it into the physical world. Now, the angels, choirs of angels, and angels of healing, especially those who are willing to support and assist with this particular protocol, this particular process, are going to take this energy as it builds through the palms of your hands into a ball that grows from beach ball to from tennis ball to beach ball to from volleyball to beach ball to hot air balloon, essentially, although not filled with hot air, filled with the energy of divine healing, divine light. Angels, choirs of angels, and angels of healing, now please take this energy. We're just going to allow, we're not witnessing it with our brains. We're not visualizing. We're just being the vehicles to call forward this energy through our breath and having the awareness and the sensation of experiencing it as if this ball is building in our palms, in our arms, in our laps, as these energies are now taking these angels, choirs of angels, and angels of healing, now taking this energy, distributing and directing it in accordance with God's divine perfection, exactly and precisely where it's needed. We are simply the vehicles on earth for God's divine perfection to unfold. We are not interfering. We are just simply being vehicles of service and contribution here, calling forward these energies into the physical world by breathing as much of them in as we can, allowing them to build and allowing the angels, choirs of angels, and angels of healing to utilize these energies, to take them, to distribute them exactly and precisely, however and wherever they're needed in accordance with God's divine perfection, to support and assist these animals, both domestic and wild, exactly and precisely, however, wherever they're needed most, these energies, in accordance with God's divine perfection. Now you're going to relax your lower extremities, likely tightened up, relax. And now just allow this energy, it's built to its capacity. Just be with it. If the brain starts thinking or wondering or multitasking, drop deeper into center core of being, be present. A matter of moments, how much we can help animals, we can't even measure it. The brain cannot measure. But we, the consciousness, we, the loving souls, we can be here. We can allow this energy to be utilized. We can work with energy and consciousness. So just be still and allow. Nice. Just another moment or two. I'm just waiting for these beings to tell me it's completed for now. It's still, the energy's still there, so.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, the animal kingdom saying, with your intention now, as this is completed, it is not done yet, but with your intention now, if you would please, hold as a collective group your intention that all animals globally will be recognized as the sentient beings we truly are, that we are worthy and deserving of being treated with love, kindness, respect, dignity, and honor, that we are worthy and deserving of being treated as sentient beings who are equally or perhaps even of greater consciousness, perhaps, than the current human species as a collective. We recognize we are all one ultimately. We recognize there is no better, no worse, no more, no less. However, we also are in the awareness that it is time for human to recognize us animals as equally valuable, as free will, conscious, sentient beings.
Mm.
So please hold your vision now, not vision with your eyes, vision with your intention and desire for the whole of humanity to wake up to recognize this truth. We are sentient beings. We are worthy and deserving of love, respect, honor, dignity, appreciation. And as you offer it to us, know this absolute truth, since you were discussing absolute truth earlier, that it will happen for you as well. For as you provide it to us, it will be done unto you. If you want it for yourself, you must give it freely to others as well. Give it to us. We are asking for it now. As a collective, we the animals, we are asking to be recognized as sentient beings worthy and deserving and capable of receiving respect, honor, dignity, appreciation, and recognition of ourselves as sentient, free will choosing beings. And we are in the recognition that as you recognize us, it will be better, more honoring, more respectful for the whole of humanity. As it is done for one, it is done for all. Thank you for your service and contribution today. We are grateful, and it is done. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is done. This is done. How are you
Wow.
doing?
Yeah. Wow.
Uh,
I was just, yeah. Let's see.
I wonder how well the animals are out there. I wonder how they
Well, I
all are.
will say this. My doggy was barking at the beginning of he was kind of like being antsy and whatever. He is so peaceful right now.
They get so calm. They real my dog is like such a mellow dog, and people
Oh,
when
that's
I
cool.
bring her everywhere, and people are just like, your dog is trained so well. I'm like, she's a bit of a prima donna, but she really she's like she comes everywhere. People don't even know she's with me
Oh,
because
it's
she's just so
awesome.
mellow. Yeah.
Yeah, my dog, we have a new rescue, and so he's a little cray cray right now, but he wasn't, I mean, he stopped now. He's just been
Yeah. They love
calm.
the energy. They really do
Yeah.
so well with, and dogs in families who meditate are so much calmer and more relaxed. And dogs not just dogs, all animals who are with
Yeah, I can
humans
see that.
who do energy work, they're just so much calmer and more relaxed because
Hmm.
animals are sponges, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you
We've
are.
got beautiful. Thank you. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Awesome in all caps. Yay in all
I'm
caps.
glad.
Thank you with hearts. Thank you,
Oh, that's
collective
so.
and Lori. I love
Mm.
that so much. Wow. And then Animal Rescue is just like sends so many hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
I love
amazing.
the
Thank
animal
you.
rescue people so much because they're on the front lines. We do at lorispagna.com. I typically do not once a month, but once every quarter, I'll do a
Uh-huh.
global healing for animals. I call it We the Sacred Government, but we do
Uh-huh.
similar to that kind of work we just did, just for animals. And we do global service for animals energetically like that. And of course,
She's
I have a lot of tools for people to learn how to help
yes.
the animals because that's such
Yes.
a huge
And
part of
I
like
think
what we're
sometimes
here
we
for.
don't, we forget we're so powerful that we can do these types of things like holding the intention, working with with someone like you that has the, tools on the website. Animal Rescue says, I am crying so many tears of gratitude. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Thank you.
Mhm.
And then other people are saying, thank you, Animal Rescuers, for your service. I mean, look
Yeah,
what we've opened here. It's so
oh, that's
amazing.
good.
And it was so timely. So this is one of the reasons why we love being able to be live. It's a lot more work sometimes, but it allows us to really tap into what's going on in the world. And you were so brilliant in bringing that through. Thank you. I
It's
don't want
my
to go
pleasure.
away without us talking a little bit about how they can work with you. And I'm going to
Yeah.
bring up your membership site here, and I'm going to share my screen. So y'all bear with me because I want us to be able to hear from Lori and how we can work with her and a little bit more about her work as she described. So I'm going to share your screen. Lori, will you take us through this? Let's see if I can get this up here. There we go. And
Yeah, that channeling, I can start talking about it now while you're doing
sure.
that. Like you can sort of filter me out while your brain is looking for that. But I'll just say it is
Let's see.
the,
Can y'all see it on the thing? Because
no,
we
right
fixed I
now it
shared
looks like just Google.
it. Okay. Let's see.
But okay, while you're doing that, while you're finding
Yes. Yeah.
how, let me say, it's a channeling. It's the channeling package. So it's the history of all the channelings I've done, and there's a lot of them, but they all very similar to what we did today. All the channelings have um it's my collect or the collective. They're all unique and different. Thousands of benevolent beings, and we get healing, channeling, readings for animals, for ourselves, for our loved ones. There's a lot of channelings from weather patterns,
Okay.
why they
Yes.
form the way they do, what they do. There's a lot of channelings from planetary bodies, especially like if you're into astrology, for example, you start literally can communicate with planets. They're in there. Yes, lots of channelings from different animals and what the animals are here, what different animals are here to teach us or tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of channelings with angels, star family races. Oh yeah, the star family races, my sub collective, my unique collective of the star family races, because we didn't talk about this too much, but I did have a first contact, right? That's where I met my home star
Oh,
family. And
yes.
we all have star family races. Not all of us, but most of us do. So mine is called the Fleet, and they talk a lot about the intergalactic relationships and what we can expect with and how we can connect with our star family and connect more and more with them. So it's not just channeling words. It's
Mm-hmm.
energy healing, it's meditations. And there are some amazing, class tutorials that help you learn how to channeling. There are also DNA activations in there. So it's a lot of content, but the beauty is it's all kind of, it's edited in such a way that you can just, if you just want to listen without doing the meditation, you can do that. And then if you want to just go straight to the meditation part, you can just do that. And there's even an intro of each section that'll say, okay, this particular one, these are the channels we do. This is what we're covering.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of know right in the first 15 minutes, oh, I want to hear about this one. Like you'll want them all, but so they're all in there, and it's a portal that you get access to, so you can log in
Uh-huh.
whenever you
Yep.
want and have access to that content. And yeah, I mean it's easily valued at
Yes,
over
because this
1,000.
is
That's like a low value of it because
yes.
truthfully, there's so much content, rich content, and the benefits that you get. I know that you guys hear that, but you will learn. I
Like,
kind of do, I will say I pride myself, not to like tout my own horn, but I pride myself on being like very deep and rich with what I offer. Meaning it's not surface level stuff. It goes very deep.
no.
It's very expanded. And, it's really going to help you because that's what I do. I help people to level up. I help people to claim their gifts. I help people to become more of who we're meant to be. I help people to become elevated leaders and to claim their sovereignty and to express in the most powerful and profound ways so that we can be the new leaders of the world and offer what we're here to offer and make the change. We're here to make the change and also to really be best versions of ourselves. That's what happens in these. And you start falling in love with yourself because you start realizing how much natural, organic like confidence and courage that you have because you're like, this is like so good. Nobody can make this stuff up. Like it starts becoming the embodiment of who you are because we're working with these divine beings, the angels, archangels, ascended masters, goddesses, these beings who are truly serving the light and who are helping us to align. And by the way, your role, whoever you are in God's plan of light of creation or, the unfoldment for humanity is a beautiful, magnificent role. It's not you being mediocre. It's you
Mm.
being so much the best version of you. You're living, not only are you living your best life, but you're living life in a better way, which is so different. Most people are just striving to have a better life, but they're not in the full recognition, like you're gonna have challenges. Like that is part of
Yes.
the game on earth. So when those challenges come, you're living life in a better way because you're recognizing, this is really not only helping you grow, but evolve or heal. It's part of what you signed up for somehow. It's part of your soul's agenda. There's some kind of gifts in there for you to claim. And those gifts of consciousness and evolution are going to help you become more of the wholeness and fullness that you are. So anyway, I've said a lot, but you'll get all of that in that mentorship. In that, it's not a mentorship. Mentorship is when you work directly with me, but it is the
Membership.
membership. It's a
With the
membership.
membership.
So you get
And
to do it
and
on your own.
I want to point out for everyone here that this is the culmination of all of your work. Like I have, and I've witnessed this lady, this wonderful trailblazer work alongside like back when Jenith first started. I mean, this is over like, and that was over 12 years ago. So this is a culmination of all of many years ago as a pioneer in this work, as a trailblazer in this work, willing to raise their hand whenever it was still so taboo and you had to go to the library just to find that one corner
Uh,
of a library to find the work and to
uh,
we didn't have always these internet platforms in order to really culminate this information. It was really a true like calling answer and really pulling forth the downloads. And
yeah.
I want people to realize that because we've got a lot of newcomers and myself included to the space, but Lori, you and like someone like Janet, y'all have been doing this for a very long time. um I
I will
joined.
say, my husband divorced me because I started getting into this. And I mean, there were obviously there were other
Are y'all hearing this?
issues,
I mean,
but
I know we're going
people back
long, but
then
I
thought I
mean, this
was
is
crazy,
important.
right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
true.
And I'm saying it, and I'm saying, are y'all hearing this? Because I know we're going long, but a lot of times our community will have that. Not that your husband's going to divorce you, but like we have that where our family may not always. They're like, "What's going on?" Or there's not the internet in the way it is these days, where we can say, "Hey, look, this is what I'm." Looking at this is what I'm experiencing. So, Lori,
Right.
thank you for being that
Yeah.
trailblazer, no
Yeah,
matter
your
what.
husband, I just want to say your husband's not necessarily going to divorce you. Really, what happens is when he divorced me way before I started doing this
Ah,
work. I was
yes,
just starting to
yes,
wake up that I could do this work and that I was communicating with my dead brother and all that. But my point is,
yes,
when you start working with this energy, you're living in so much more harmony with people. Your relationships improve. Your relationship
yes.
with yourself and others and your animals improves because your whole energy and consciousness starts to shift. So it doesn't mean you're going to have a divorce. That was like way back then when people thought this stuff was so crazy. They just couldn't even fathom it. But now, because of so many amazing people waking up and people in this community, it's totally shifting and changing, you know?
Thank you. And
Yeah.
thank you for being willing to be that trailblazer for us all.
Yeah. I love
That
this
is
work.
why we have this community, is so that many of us can come here and have an experience, no judgment, really learn from people like yourself. Like I said, I haven't gotten emotional in a long time on like a transmission like that. And I can tell that, your work is very deep, and we're so immensely grateful for your time today. Any
My
parting words? Gosh, we've gone long, but it's
My only
okay.
parting words, besides thank you so much for allowing me to contribute and be of service and for receiving and participating is, I mean, thank you so much. But did you notice, Lianka, that you and I today have the colors of the heart chakra? Because it's the only chakra that has two colors. Green is the earthly connection,
Ah,
and magenta or pink is
yes,
the higher realm connection, and the two together form the connection
I
from
love that.
from the physical to the higher realm. So our unity is like that's just so funny.
I
That's so
did
awesome.
notice that we kind of felt like I felt like oh, I was like, we kind of have the same outfit on in a way, like, but I didn't make the second connection, so I love that so
Our
much.
chakra
Very cool.
connection. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, well,
Thank
thank
you
you,
so
everyone. Thank
much for
you.
having me.
It was such a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. And we'll have to have you back when Jennifer's back, feeling better, live in the studio. So thank you so much again. And thank you, everyone. Have a good one. A couple of announcements, everybody. We do have a new summit coming at the end of the month, sorry, at the beginning of next month, and it'll be August 13th through the 17th. We have three speakers a day, live every day, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific. Then we're going to run into something very exciting and special, and it is called our set 5-day challenge. It's a money mentality challenge, and we're doing our wait list right now. So you can find all of this information. Make sure that you're on our website and joined on our newsletter. It's www.com/live is where you're going to find all of the replays, plus Lori's beautiful special offer and the information for our upcoming summit and our wait list. So make sure that you join our wait list. It is, Jennifer's putting into the chat when our summit starts. It's on April 13th. And we're going to, again, have three speakers a day, every day, live, all live, Monday through Friday. So be sure to join us. And then we've got something super duper special for you as we go into our money mentality challenge. And that will be for 5 days. And it'll be something really unique. It's really where we step into these new energies, removing doubt, removing fear, stepping away from this collective, and even using the word that Lori used today, removing those implants from ourselves, knowing how to use and utilize our tools to move forth and create the things that our heart desires, working with our soul's blueprint. It's going to be dynamic. I'm so excited. You can find the information for that and much more at www.houthustle.com/live. And also get signed up for our summit waitlist at www.com/summit. So SUMMIT. Thinking I need a glass of water now, but I just want to leave you with those quick announcements reminding you that a portion of our proceeds always go back to support youth and women related causes, nonprofit causes. Right now we have a nonprofit we're supporting called riseandup.org. They take in laptops and tablets for connectivity, for joining wonderful things like this, for wellness and education. So you can find more information about that. If you have any questions ever, you can just email us at team@houthustle.com and we will get you all signed up. Plus, we have our Mystique, and you can find out more information about joining our inner circle or our Mystique at www.houthustle.com/join. That's JOIN. If you have any questions about any of it, again, email us at team@houthustle.com. We love you. This is How Hustle reminding you to take a little time to enjoy the woo. Have a good one. Bye bye.